Hey everyone, here's an example of a story problem. This is an example from a problem I believe that was on your guys' previous test for quiz section 2.1 to 2.3. It says films may not be getting any better, but in this era of moviegoing, the number of screens available for new films and the classics has exploded. The points in the graph show the number of screens in a country from 1995 through 2000. The x-axis stands for the number of years after 1995, while the y-axis stands for the number of screens in thousands. Also shown is a line that passes through or near the points. So we need to sift through the important information. First off, the 1995 through 2000, this is important information here. And then you've got the x-axis stands for the number of years after 1995. Let's go ahead and underline that. And the y-axis stands for the number of screens in thousands. Okay, so these are the important information that they give us in this problem. Everything else really doesn't matter too much. So if they want us to, if they said they basically said, also shown as a line that passes through or near the points. And what they're asking you to do is they're asking you to write an equation for this line, and then they're going to have you, sometimes they might have you extrapolate or interpolate this. I don't think this problem specifically asks you for that, but I'll probably show you here how to interpolate or extrapolate. So if I want to start this problem out, the first thing I need to do is find the slope. And I'm going to find the slope by using point-slope form. When I write down point-slope form, I'm going to take both of these coordinates, plug them into this form, and solve for m, and that'll give me my slope. So I plug in 1 and 27 and 5 and 38. So I'm going to write these down out here. This is 1, 27, and this is 5, 38. And I'll call this x1, y1, x2, y2. Now you notice I don't have y2 and x2 here. I can easily write those in there. It doesn't matter if you have just y, x, y2, x2, y3, x3, it doesn't matter. So I'm going to, basically what I'm going to take is I'm going to take the y values, subtract them. So that's 38 minus 27 equals m. Let's see, 5 minus 1. This gives 11, and this gives 4. Divide by 4 and you get 11 over 4 equals m. So I can see that the slope of this line is 11 over 4. So the new line I need to, or the line that I need to write is a slope of 11 over 4. So what I do now is I'm going to plug that into point slope form along with a coordinate, and I'll have my equation. So I'm going to say y, I'm going to use this coordinate, minus 38, equals 11 over 4 x minus 5. So as you can see, I use the two coordinates to find the slope, and then I take the slope along with a point, plug it into the equation, and this is now my point slope form equation. So now if they ask you to interpolate or extrapolate, what they're asking you to do is they're asking you to make an estimation for interpolation. It would be in between the 2 points. So make an estimation between the 2 points you have on the graph, and then if they ask you to extrapolate, they're asking you to look for some, make an estimate for some number that's outside of our data set. So let's interpolate. So to interpolate, we are going to, let's do this over, we'll say we'll interpolate, let's look at the number of years after. We're going to look for, interpolate for 1998. So I'm going to say 1998, which means I need to plug, that would be 3 years after 1995. Remember, x stands for the number of years after 1995. So basically 1998 would be f of 3. So what I want to do is I want to take 3 and I want to plug it into my equation here for x, and I want to figure out what y would be. So what I'm going to do is take this equation and write y minus 38 equals 11 over 4, 3 minus 5. And then I'm going to subtract here. So that's going to be y minus 38 equals 11 over 4 times negative 2. Then I get y minus 38 equals, that would be negative 22 over 4. I need to add the 38 over. So I'm going to take 38, add it over. That's going to be y equals negative 22 over 4 plus 38. Now I need to put this into a fractional form with the same denominator as negative 22 over 4. So that should give me, let's see, 38 times 4 be 152. So minus 22 over 4 plus 152 over 4 is going to give 130 over 4, which gives 32.5. So if I go up to this graph then, so 32.5, and I look on the graph at 3, and you go up and you can see, oh, there's 32.5 right there. So 32.5 makes sense. This is 32.5 what? It's 32.5, really it's 32,500 screens. So 32,500 screens in the year 1998. Now let's say we extrapolate. So I'm going to extrapolate over here. And I'm going to extrapolate for 2020, which would be f of 25. So I'm going to plug in 25 there for x. So I get y minus 38 equals 11 over 4, 25 minus 5. So that's going to give y minus 38 equals 11 over 4 times 20. We'll take 20 times 11, that gives y minus 38 equals 220 over 4. So then I can add the 38 over. So I get y equals 220 over 4 plus 38. Now I just need to change this to the same denominator here. So I get y equals 220 over 4 plus 152 over 4. That's going to give 372 over 4. And if I take 372 divided by 4, I get 93. Now this is 93,000 films. Remember, because this number is in thousands, it said up above, it says right here, y-axis stands for number of screens in thousands. So this 93 is 93,000 screens in the year 2020. Okay? So that is our answers. That is interpolation and extrapolation using a equation for a line written in point slope form. Equation of a line that we wrote based on this graph above.